We've all had those moments, haven't we? A disagreement with a friend, a misunderstanding at work, where the truth of what was said or what happened seems to get lost in translation. Memories can be fickle things, easily swayed by emotion, perspective, or the passage of time. Now, imagine those same human frailties playing out in a scenario with infinitely higher stakes, a police interrogation, where someone's freedom or even their life hangs in the balance. For decades, what happened behind those closed interrogation room doors was often a matter of he said, she said. But a quiet revolution has been unfolding in our justice system, driven by a growing understanding of human psychology and a deep commitment to fairness. Today, we're going to explore the fascinating and crucial research behind the increasingly widespread practice of recording police interrogations, a powerful tool designed to bring transparency, accuracy, and accountability to a critical stage of criminal investigations. It's a topic that truly embodies our pursuit of a more just and evidence-informed society. The journey toward recording interrogations really began with a stark and deeply troubling revelation: the undeniable link between unrecorded interrogations and false confessions. Think about it, an innocent person under immense pressure, fatigued, perhaps even disoriented, confessing to a crime they didn't commit. This isn't just a plot device in a movie. DNA exonerations have brought to light countless real-life cases where false confessions were a primary driver of wrongful convictions. It's a sobering reminder that our system, for all its strengths, can sometimes go tragically awry. The simple truth is, when there's no objective record, disputes over what was said, how it was said, or even if it was said, become inevitable. Accusations of coercive tactics from suspects and counter-accusations of fabricating stories from officers muddy the waters. So the practice of recording emerged as a logical, practical solution, a way to provide an impartial, transparent record of these interactions, protecting everyone involved. Initially, there were understandable concerns from various corners. Would it inhibit suspects? Would it hinder officers? But as we'll see, research has largely answered these questions, paving the way for a major shift. So why is this practice gaining so much traction now? Well, several converging factors are fueling its momentum. Firstly, there's a growing chorus of endorsement from some very influential voices. Major law enforcement organizations like the International Association of Chiefs of Police and the Major Cities Chiefs Association are actively issuing guidelines and model policies recommending recording. This isn't just a fringe idea, it's becoming a best practice from within the profession itself. And it's not just law enforcement. Legal and civil liberties groups such as the American Bar Association, the ACLU, and the Innocence Project are leading advocates. They see it as a crucial safeguard against wrongful convictions and a protector of civil liberties. It's rare to see such broad consensus across traditionally opposing groups, underscoring the clear benefits. Perhaps one of the most significant reasons for its rapid adoption is the wealth of empirical validation. Early fears that recording would somehow chill suspects, making them less willing to talk or confess, have largely been disproven by rigorous research. Studies consistently show that suspects are often surprisingly unconcerned by the presence of a camera. The act of recording generally has no statistically significant impact on their willingness to waive their Miranda rights or to ultimately confess. It turns out the psychology of an interrogation is far more complex than the simple presence of a recording device. Think of it like getting a dash cam for your car. Initially, you might feel a little self-conscious, but very quickly it becomes just another part of the environment, a silent witness that often provides a sense of security rather than inhibition. The same often holds true in the interrogation room.
Beyond research, we're also seeing significant legal and policy shifts. A growing number of U.S. jurisdictions, through state statutes, court rulings, or specific departmental policies, now mandate recording, particularly for serious felonies. Even federal agencies, including the Department of Justice, have implemented policies for recording interrogations. This isn't just a suggestion anymore, it's becoming a legal requirement. And this recognition isn't limited to national borders. International bodies, such as the United Nations Human Rights Committee and the European Committee for the Prevention of Torture, view electronic recording as a vital safeguard against mistreatment during questioning. It's clear that this is a global movement towards greater human rights protection. Now, let's talk about the core benefits, because they really are multifaceted. At its heart, recording addresses the problem of false confessions, but it does so much more. It enhances transparency, providing an objective and accurate record of interactions. This protects suspects from coercive tactics, but equally important, it protects officers from unfounded allegations of misconduct. For the courts, recordings are invaluable. They assist judges and juries in assessing the voluntariness of a confession, providing the complete context crucial for the totality of the circumstances approach. No more guessing, just the actual interaction. And there are significant operational advantages for law enforcement. Imagine a detective, freed from the frantic pace of note-taking, able to fully focus on active listening, building rapport, and observing nonverbal cues. Recordings allow for that. They also provide powerful evidence for prosecutors, which can often lead to more guilty pleas, saving valuable court time and resources. And perhaps most compellingly, these recordings serve as an invaluable training tool for police departments, allowing them to review actual interrogations, identify effective techniques, and refine their practices. When it comes to recording standards, the consensus is clear. Full electronic recording is preferred. And while audio taping is good, videotaping is even better. Why? Because it captures those subtle nonverbal cues, body language, facial expressions, the overall physical environment, which are essential for fully understanding the dynamics of an interaction. The who's who of stakeholders, from law enforcement to legal advocates, psychological experts like Saul Kassin, to government bodies, generally support this practice, though the specifics of implementation can sometimes vary. Now, despite this overwhelming support, it's important to acknowledge that there are still some points of contention and ongoing debates. Remember that initial concern about suspect inhibition? While largely disproven by research, it does remain a historical objection, something departments still sometimes grapple with during initial adoption. Then there are the very real issues of cost and logistics. Equipping every interrogation room, maintaining the technology, and storing vast amounts of video data can be expensive. However, these upfront costs are often weighed against the long-term savings from reduced litigation, fewer wrongful conviction payouts, and more efficient court processes. It's an investment, but one with a significant return. One of the biggest ongoing debates revolves around the scope of recording. Which interrogation should be recorded? Is it all custodial interviews, only felony cases, or just the most serious crimes? And what about exceptions? When is it okay not to record? Equipment malfunction, a suspect's refusal, or spontaneous statements made outside a formal interview? These are questions that jurisdictions continue to wrestle with. A particularly strong push from advocates is for recording the entire interrogation process, from start to finish, not just the moment a confession is made. This full interrogation recording is crucial because it provides the complete context, preventing what's called confession contamination, where details might be subtly introduced by interrogators and then repeated by suspects.
And here's a fascinating psychological insight from the research. Camera angle matters. Studies have shown that if a video recording focuses solely on the suspect, juries can be biased, perceiving the confession as more voluntary, even if it wasn't. Recommendations now often lean towards camera angles that include both the suspect and the interrogator, offering a more balanced view of the interaction. It's a subtle but powerful example of how technology can influence perception. Finally, there was an initial worry that recording would inhibit an officer's interrogation tactics. Experience, however, shows that officers typically adapt and quickly revert to effective, ethical techniques within the transparent environment. And a significant legal question remains. What are the consequences if an interrogation should have been recorded but wasn't? While some advocate for per se inadmissibility of unrecorded statements, jurisdictions vary widely on rules concerning exceptions and penalties. So, what does the future hold for recording interrogations? The trajectory is clear: continued expansion and refinement. The growing consensus across law enforcement, legal, and academic communities points toward increasing adoption in more and more jurisdictions. Future developments will likely focus on standardizing the scope, clarifying exceptions, ensuring that full interrogation principle is consistently applied, and continuing to address the nuanced impacts like jury perception. Ultimately, recording interrogations has moved beyond being a novel idea. It has become an established best practice. It's a critical tool in our ongoing effort to safeguard justice, improve law enforcement accountability, and uphold the integrity of our criminal justice system. By embracing transparency and leveraging technology, we are steadily building a system that is more fair, more accurate, and more trustworthy for everyone involved.
It's a testament to our collective commitment to truth, even when the path to finding it can be complex.